I was just introducing Rosemary Sarkis. This is one of our keen representatives from Nest. Nest is the company that we're affiliated with, and they are a sister company of Travel Savers. And Travel Savers, Rosemary can go into a little bit more after I start sharing my screen and go into some information. But Travel Savers has been around for many, many, many years. I think it's one of the only, is it still privately owned, Rosemary?
It is, yes. It's family owned and run. Mm-hmm.
Family owned and run, and it's been around for like 50 years or something like this.
Over 50, actually. It's 52 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're a really tight knit family, and they developed Nest for at home agents like ourselves and our host agency. And honestly, these people, I mean, I've worked with a lot of people. I'm sure you guys over the years have been in so many different businesses, but these people are the best I've ever worked with in travel. I mean, there is just nothing that they aren't capable of, and they're so willing to help, and they're genuinely nice. So I hope you get to meet them in person at some point. But I will just start off by welcoming Rosemary, Diane, Stuart, and Leslie. We're so excited to have you here. And I'm going to mute everyone for just a bit, and just so that we don't get confused or anything. Take your notes and have our one-on-ones and such. We can go over everything. If we have more time at the end of this session, a 75-minute session, then I'll just take Q&As. If we don't, then I'll take your questions at our one-on-ones. And let's just get ready to rock and roll. Does that sound good? Just say, oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'll view you here. Thanks so much for being here too. I know everybody's got so much to do, but it's kind of important to really just be able to get on the same page, especially at first, you know. All right. Okay. So can you see my screen, the welcome to the team and all that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. Perfect. All right. Very good. All right. So we are just going to do this live training just to go recap kind of what we're going over, what the travel agent training includes. You qualify for your CLIA card, which is being a certified travel professional. You get those opportunities for the travel discounts and perks, the opportunity for that travel insurance discount. And I know that was a big reasoning for both Stuart and Diane. And then of course, income opportunity with our commission splits with the host agency. And it is really a quick start turnkey business. And you do qualify for tax write-offs if you have an LLC, which I always recommend. And then we do the one-on-one coaching to try and really zoom into what you are going to use most. So this I'm going to go over at the end too, but just to keep in mind, because it is so much information, just to kind of streamline. I like bullet points, so hopefully you guys do too. This is going to be the goal at the end, is to schedule a one-on-one with me. We're going to e-sign the 3 contracts and email it back. Choose the 1 to 3 favorite vendors, cruises, resorts, just 1 to 3 of your favorites. Kind of think about that in before our one-on-one, so I can really dig in deep and get you registered specifically with them, because everyone books a little differently. So you want to home in on 1 to 3 of your favorites. And then we're going to have you log into nest.com. That's our back office that has the itinerary builder. It has the choices, comparison, and you can even book through nest.com. And I already set your username and passwords up, and I'll send them to you after the training, so you can poke around in there. And then there's 3 ways to really make a booking. Now for Leslie, you know, she knows where she likes to go and how she likes to book, but for most new agents, calling directly is going to be the easiest way to get kind of familiar with the process without feeling like you're completely overwhelmed with all the new back offices. So I'll get you direct numbers to all the suppliers. The other way is to use the supplier's back office, meaning, you know, all the different cruise lines, for example, have their own back office. Carnival, Go CCL, then they have Expresso with Royal Caribbean. All of those need to be set up, which we can do depending upon who you are going to work most of the time with. And like Club Med, for instance, I know Stuart's a huge Club Med fan. Yeah, they have a different separate booking engine. So every company mostly has a different booking engine. So we do have links to that. That's the second way you can make a booking. And then TripXpress, we're going to go over that. This is for people that, especially new agents, that really just get a little overwhelmed with how to book travel for a guest. This is a really nice tool. It does have a nominal $15 or $20 fee that comes out of your commissions, but it's a nice tool if you're really feeling like I'm a little not feeling comfortable going into the back offices. So those are 3 ways to make a booking. Again, this is our goal for the end of this whole promotion. I'll send you the seller of travel information. That's something that everybody needs because we're a Florida-based agency. And if you ever sold to anyone in Florida, there are a few states that have rules and regulations about having sellers of travels. We are one of them. So this is kind of a normal thing. Plus, you'll very likely have someone from Florida that you sell travel to because it is such a highly traveled area. You'll register with CLIA if you'd like, and you'll pay to get your Embark ID. And I'll show you what that means a little later. But that's the number that gets you those big fam discounts, those familiarization trips that we talked about. And also, we recommend creating a Gmail travel related email address for all of your business related needs. Number one, it's just nice to be able to have one email address, not your normal one, for just your travel bookings. Another one is because it's identifiable to the guest. We give out email addresses, travel fund domain email addresses to employees, but you're IC independent contractors. So you'll use your own. And believe me, Gmail is really nice for the Google Sheets that we share for our commission tracking, etc. I try to keep it simple as much as possible, which is almost impossible in this industry. But remember this, you can meet or beat almost any price with travel perks. And that's what I tell all of our friends, all of our guests. You know, people can book direct, but they don't pay more to book with you. And they have that extra hand holding. And often you get travel perks, you know, whether it's onboard credits or resort credits or just a little package or something fun that they give you. So there's really just only good, it's only positive. It's a win-win to book with you. So just remember that when you're kind of encompassing all of this craziness. And I also tell new agents, you can always check consumer facing websites for pricing. You don't always have to go to your back office and look for all the great deals because your customers are also just looking at consumer facing websites. For example, RoyalCaribbean.com or RCCL.com or Carnival.com, or if you just go to the direct Club Med Resort, because that's sometimes you're just looking for a quick price. So just don't forget, you don't have to make it so complicated. You can sort of act like a guest and just go to these sites to get pricing, because ultimately that's what people really want to know, of course. I just want to set the expectations. I know we're going over a lot of information, so please just write your questions down, list them. We'll go over them on our one-on-one. I'll also have office hours every week for the next couple months, because I know we're onboarding quite a few new agents in the next 2 months. So I'll always I can't be available all the time because I obviously work as well, but I want to make sure that there is a time that you feel you can always connect with me on a one-on-one. And also the last tip I would say is just to keep in mind that Travel Fun is working a lot with Virgin Voyages, Riviera, Temptations. They all have great travel agent promos, and we're going to be able to have some actual one-on-ones with them. So most of you already know me, 15 years in the travel business, 8 years I lived on board. I have over 500 cruises and trips under my belt. That's not because I'm fancy as much as because I worked a lot. Some of the things that travel agencies do for you. So why are you working with a host agency? Well, you do need to work with a host agency in order to just even be able to book anything. And we take care of all of the CLIA cards, all of the registrations, we take care of the errors and omissions, we take care of licensing. We have a CRM that you can utilize. There's also the advertising and marketing. You can always lean on us. For example, if you're building a group and you want a couple more people and you say, hey, Shelby, I've got 2 or 3 people already on this resort trip to Club Med. I'd really like to see if I can hit, my numbers to get a free room or whatever. We have a huge database and we will send it out for you. So we are here to support you. Everything is within reason. I can't email blast our whole entire network every week, but believe me, every month or so, whatever you want us to include, we'll make the graphics for it. We're here to support you to be successful. So we really, really want you to be successful, and we utilize our tools. So that's what we do for you. We also have, of course, the credit card fees if you need to do some in-house processing. If it's not direct with the supplier, we process the charge. I have the social media training that we'll be doing in the next 10 to 14 days for everyone, which is complimentary included. I do charge other people for it, but for you guys are going to get it free. And I tell people, it doesn't really matter how good you are at booking anything, you still need the people to book things. And honestly, it's tried and true. Social media marketing, as I think you all know, is a real thing now, and there's ways to do it correctly and there's ways to do it poorly. And I go over all those ins and outs, and it's not just wind blowing up anyone's backside. I definitely have had a tried and true method. We have a TTS method that I like to show all of our new agents. And this is proven with our new company a couple years back. After just 3 months of opening, we sold over $250,000 of travel in the first 90 days because of the social media marketing alone. And we were a very small team. So I'm going to give all of that to you. The deposits, if you do a group and you want to have deposits for 10 to 20 rooms or cabins, the travel agency, we will put our card down for deposits so that you don't have to put that money out. So that's another really nice perk of working with a travel agency. Of course, you have access to the Facebook group. Collaboration with other group leaders like yourself and working together is always a really great idea. As I mentioned, assistance in meeting your TC requirements. I'll go over what TC means later. Invitation to our group leader and agent summit. We are absolutely this year. We've tried this twice now, but we're going to definitely do it this year. Either a 2 or 3 night cruise or a resort. We'll see wherever we can get the most people and the most time, and we'll have a little fun and training at the same time. And we also have prizes to give out on board if you do have groups. So our partners, this is Nest. This is the fantastic Rosemary. I know I talk her up a lot, but that's because she's fabulous. This gives you access to the Nest TripXpress booking engine. It's a sister company of Travel Savers. Rosemary Sarkis is our direct contact. She is on the ball and so helpful. This is her number. Of course, you're going to get this deck afterward. You don't have to write this down, but this gives us all kinds of options and extra bonuses. And it's kind of like a rabbit hole that you don't want to stop utilizing because there's so much more fun things to do. But as in everything with technology, sometimes things can get a little complicated. So we're just going to go over a little background of how to use the basics of Nest, because I felt like this would be helpful. And then I'm going to have Rosemary chat with us for just a second, and she can sort of speak to the things that we just showed you. So I told you we had the logins, and you're going to have your own login and password. And once you log into your back office, you're going to see this is your home screen. There's so much information here, as you can see. But I like to push this one, the government update and testing, because the protocols are changing and they're putting all of that information in one place. There's also the exclusive offers over here where you do your drop downs, and all the offers for our Nest company partners will come up. So that's really helpful. And then of course the supplier guide. So again, this is enormous. This program is enormous. There's so much to show, but I'm just trying to zero you in. So the supplier guide, if you go to all of these are all the phone numbers of all of the suppliers that we work with. And available in TripXpress means you could book it through this booking engine. If it doesn't have a green tab, it means you'll have to call directly. But all of these numbers are right here. Hotels, resorts, all of these people are our partners, our vendors, and you can get all that information fairly quickly just by going to that one tab, which was on the home screen in the middle. So back to the home screen. Just wanted to show you the resources. This is really where Rosemary comes in. She's done all of these, the resources, the learning center, and the booking engines. So the TripXpress I kept talking about. I also want to mention easy tickets for airlines. We do have an airline porthole. You can make commission. However, with still things going a little crazy with COVID and all the changes, it's my high recommendation, do what you want, but I don't like to get involved with air this year because airlines tend to do whatever the hell they want, and they might not refund people or whatnot, and then it kind of looks bad on you. So I wouldn't touch air with a 10-foot pole. My personal opinion this year. But TripXpress. So, and I'm sorry, the supplier booking engines. The supplier booking engine is what I mentioned. You could go directly to the websites and actually get your registration in all of these areas for wherever you're booking. So you have to choose. That's why I'm saying start with 1 or 2 or 3. Don't go with all of them because you'll get lost. So I went to Virgin Voyages. We booked them a lot. First Mates. You will have to sign up for a First Mates account if you want to book online, or you could call them and you can book your people through just your phone number. So those are the 2 basic ways of booking. If you want to do TripXpress, this is actually an itinerary builder and a quoter. And the thing about it that I love about TripXpress, mostly, I don't use it to book. I book direct with the supplier. But what I do love is the itinerary builder is beautiful. And when I'm putting together something for people that, I want it to look really nice and I like all the information there. This is a really nice feature that is free for you to use. So, it's a nice thing to use. So we're just going here. I'll just pick a date in February. Carnival Cruise Lines. I'm going to go out of Miami and I'm just going to view some sailings. You can compare up to 3 at one time, and that's a really nice thing too. So I'm just going to pick 3 different cruises just so you can see what it looks like. A couple different days. These are all Carnival, but that's only because that's what I had chosen in our drop down. But here I am. You can compare to 3 at a time, then scroll back up top right, and it has compare. And it's such a nice sheet that comes out here. It's just very, very nice and easy to read. And this is just a beautiful way to showcase what the differences are. So you have the ports, you have the prices from inside to suites. So this is a really, really beautiful way of being able to showcase this to your guests. Now, I generally tell people to send this to themselves. So if you were using a new Gmail address like Travel Fun with Leslie or Travel Fun with Diane, I send it to myself and forward it to the guest so that the guest is back and forth with me. So I hope that makes sense, but send your emails and forward to yourself and then you forward it to the guest. That's what I always do. So that's a really nice feature that you can do for quotes. And if we just go back on the left, now, if I'm going to actually book this through TripXpress, if you saw, I just hit this button behind it that said book for extra commission. Now, this is a lot of information, but in general, it says that you have the option of earning 15%. We have a commission split, of course, with the company, but it's 15% is the whole commission, and then you'd get half. But this commission split also has a $15 admin fee. Now, this fee is just taken out of your commission, so you don't have to really think about it. But this is the kind of, they're booking it for you. When you put the information into this TripXpress, then the Nest agents are booking it for you. So they're taking a little admin fee. They ask you to accept an initial and then click right here to continue. So that's if you wanted to book with TripXpress for ease. Now I'm going to select what I wanted to choose. I'm going to choose that February 4th cruise and I write select. And now we're going to have some pricing coming up. So it's important to realize that the suites, the most expensive stuff is first. So sometimes I always go, oh, where's the cheaper stuff? Let's start there. So the inside cabins, outside cabins, balcony cabins. And then we have this area, which I think is really a really great area for you to do some price comparison. You have lowest fare available, interline programs, which is travel agency people, travel advisor only rates. So you can sort of compare and see what the cheapest rates are. So that's a really nice option in here, kind of one-stop shop. So I use this just for comparing a lot. So as I mentioned, You can do the different fares. Then of course you change how many people are going, if they had a past passenger number, because sometimes they can give you that past passenger number, that'll get them a reduced amount for pricing. And then the coupon code. So coupon codes are not that often, but when you have a CLIA card, you can get coupon codes, and that sometimes can come into play. So coupon codes are there, and you press select, and now you can see exactly where you'd like to go. So I'm going inside. I'm consenting. This little box here is basically saying that the passengers meet the qualifications of the fare you selected, meaning if you said they were military or they were a Florida resident rate, that this is true, that they are, you're not trying to lie to just get the discount, because that'll bite you in the ass. Like, don't do that, because it's they will find out. So don't, unless you're really tricky. I'm not that tricky. So here you could ask for a specific cabin, and you can see that they show us the whole cabins, the numbers. You can actually ask for a specific cabin. You'd be surprised how many people want to do that. Or you can just take whatever you have on the upper deck. You can choose to add this to Trip or to Book. I mentioned this is a booking engine. That means you can book through it, or it's a itinerary builder. Now, I love the itinerary builder, and this is a fun thing for, especially for new agents. So if I go to the trip builder, now there's one current trip. So I have one trip in here, and you can see that I chose this 3-day Carnival cruise. And now maybe I want to add a hotel. Maybe I want to add a pre-cruise hotel. The dates will start being populated. I'm just going to stay for one night before I get on the cruise. And these are all commissionable at 10%, the hotels. You could do them all. I'm just going to pick 2, 3, and 4 stars just so we can see what we have for options. Come on, TripXpress. It is a little slow. Sometimes you just got to be patient. Technology, it's a lot of information. They go in ascending order, meaning higher price to lower price. So I generally change it to descending, and then you have to press sort to get the lower prices. We could stay at La Quinta. They love dogs, but I'm going to stay at the Sheraton. And you can view the hotel. You could compare as well. You could do the same comparison thing as we did with the cruises. But if you view the hotel, something really nice, also in TripXpress, in most of the areas, you have some information and some pictures of the hotel. So that's nice that it'll go along with them. And then some information about where it is, the direction, the address. And there's several ways to book it on some of them. In this one, we have just Sabre. So you're going to go here. I'm going to choose the cheapest one. I'm going to take one night, and then I'm going to add it to Trip. So I'm going to add it to Trip so that it's part of our itinerary builder. And now you see we have 2 things in our Trip builder. We have the cruise and our hotel, and we're going to proceed to booking. So this is still, no money has exchanged hands. You didn't need any credit card info. This can be just a quote if you like it to be. A lot of information in here. And the cancellation policies are really well documented, which is really nice. This area here at the bottom is actually for the host agency, not for you. It says the commissions won't be paid unless an updated W-9 is on file. We don't need your W-9 unless you make over $600 in commissions over a year, then we do your 1099s. But this is actually for our host agency. We get paid and we pay you out. So ours is already on file, just to make sure you understand that that's not relating to you. Okay, so now I've read that. I'm going back up. I'm going to client view. This is what the client will see. And this is beautiful. I mean, has all your information. It's going to have your information. You could change and edit the pictures up here, which is nice. You can add your own. You can add different information, like to do on day 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where you'd put all their information for name, address. I do want to make sure I mention to all the new agents, when you're asking for someone's name, you need to clarify that you need their legal name written on their passport or government ID. That is very important these days, because if you have to change something in their name, they'll often charge you for a name change fee, and that would come out of your money. So you don't want to make that big mistake. So things need to be spelled correctly. They need to be correct legal names, and we'll get into ways that I have found is the best way to get this information correct in the future. But that's where you can put their info. If we could add that, hey, we're going to hang out today at noon. We're going to get together on day 2. We could put these types of things in this itinerary builder, which is really fun, I find. And you can actually send it out to your guest. So pretty cool. Day 1, day 2, day 3, you get the idea, where they have all of the information where you're going to go. It's already pre-loaded, and the grand totals on the bottom. And then you go to publish itinerary. And once again, I generally put the client's name in my email, and then I send it over, because here you'll be able, because your clients usually know your email address pretty quickly after the first time of working with you. But once you put your email address in, I'm going to just show you here. This is really neat. I find this to be one of the neatest parts of TripXpress in the itinerary builder. You go publish itinerary. Now that's going to be emailed to me. However, this is the way you can send it to your guest, through this link. And this is a copy. You can just copy this link, and it was published to my email address. So it will be your email address, and they just need that email address to get into the trip itinerary and see everything we just showed you. So it's a very slick way of sending people. You could do this through Facebook. You could do this through Messenger. You could send this link through anywhere. They just need your email address to get into this. And you can also click there, and they will start an email for you. So that's a very cool way of doing a trip builder. You could also do what I just clicked was the PDF button. So the PDF button will download it. It's not as pretty or as cool, but it's got all the right information. As you see, it's down here. So you can always attach a PDF. At least it has the total pricing, the cancellation policies, your itinerary. So that's always an option too. You just never know these days. Sometimes you want a link, sometimes you want actual PDF. So those are all great options. And of course, options here, you can edit. And this is where, like I said, a really fast overview, but Rosemary can go into more details soon. Okay, we're almost there. And now we're home, back to the home screen. Always go home if you get confused. Just go home if you get confused. If you go to Resources and Learning Center, I mentioned that Rosemary has a lot of videos in here. If you scroll down on the bottom right, the Nest Learning Center, she has all these videos pre-recorded, but she's also willing to give us a live training sometime in the next 7 to 10 days. We'll put it together with everyone that wants to attend. And the Travel Club, this is where you can actually make your own PDFs with your own information on it. It's really pretty slick. It can be a little slow, but it is pretty slick. So that's a lot of information. And I didn't want to give you much more than that on the back office with Nest, because I feel like that is quite enough for most people. And as I mentioned, if you'd like to, I already set this up for you, but you can go into your profile and edit it and put your picture. I put some pictures in there for you, but you can edit yours with edit profile up here. So that is a summary of Nest. And we're just, excited that you guys are a part of this, and we got you some logins, and I'll send you your logins after this. And I'm just going to unmute everyone first. I'm asking to unmute you, Rosemary, so you can. There you go.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So, go ahead. Tell us. I don't usually do the run throughs, so you got to give me some.
Yes. Well, you did a great job. Thank you very much. So yes, Nest is a travel marketing company. We are a consortium. So your host agency has joined us to get access to exclusive benefits. We're basically like almost the middleman between the suppliers and your host agency. And so what we do is negotiate with our preferred suppliers and our vendors, special sales, booking incentives for your clients, bonus commission opportunities for your clients and for the agency actually. And on behalf of our negotiations, you're also going to have preferred commission structures. So that's really the biggest advantage of being part of an organization like us. The other things that we provide for you are marketing. And that's really important these days. Branding yourself is so important, as you all know. We have a social media platform. We've got electronic marketing, digital campaigns that you can participate in. And because of the membership to Nest, with your host agency, you're going to have access to all of that at your fingertips. So definitely we can go into detailed trainings when you guys are ready for that. We'll set that up for you and you'll get to go in there. But you're going to get your logins. What my recommendation is going to be is go in there, start playing with the site, go in there. You're not going to break anything. I would go on to TripXpress, try the booking engine, see how it runs, do some test bookings if you want. I mean, don't book anything obviously that you're going to be responsible for, and it'll tell you if anything's non-refundable or so forth. But you could save everything as an itinerary and play with it then. And then after that, if you really need to book something, you can go ahead and book. But I do suggest going into the resource area, watching the webinars, because that's going to help you. The other things that we provide, the booking tool itself is going to be really a time saver for you. So instead of going from one site to another, you have access to everything at your fingertips. And that's what's nice about it. We're here for you. If you have any questions, you could always reach out to me with any questions you might have on the Nest program or any of our preferred suppliers. But we're going to be working closely together to build success for you guys and build your own businesses. And we're here for you.
Thank you so much, Rosemary. And I'll be giving you the emails to Rosemary, because she sends out regular emails, especially once in a while. Like just recently, they had a celebrity gave 5 cabins away, and they were like, "Who do you want to give these to?" So every now and again, it's pretty nice to be hooked up with these cats. And then they email us really good tips, even tips that, for me seem obvious. I should have done this already, but I didn't, like having your picture on a business card. I remember they mentioned that, and I was like, that's so true. People forget how impactful that can be. So anyway, they really are, they're not just blah blah blah. They really have meaningful information, and that's why I like working with them. So thank you so much. I'll let you go. I know you're very busy, and we'll put something together a little later on. And thank you again very
Absolutely.
much.
Thank you, and welcome to the travel industry, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Rosemary. Bye bye. Okay, so let me get back to sharing my screen. All right, so screen 2. So this was just kind of going over what we just talked about in the Nest. You're going to have your username and password, excuse me, sent to you. There's deals in Nest. There's trainings. This is an active link. So when I send you this PDF, you can actually just click that link. I'm just trying to make it easy for you, because I know how overwhelming this can be. You can call the vendors. That's really my suggestion for anybody brand new. If you really want to book something right away and you're sort of in a time crunch, you do have to be on hold sometimes a lot. So do multitasking, expect that, because no one's a VIP. The big agencies make us wait a bit. But generally, if I need to call, I'll just be working and have the phone, going at the same time. And all you really will need to phone in is the agency phone number, which is 833-878-5386. If you forget that, sometimes they call back and I'm in the car. I can tell you our number is also a vanity number, so you could just ask them to look on the keypad. It's 833-TRAVEL-FUN, TRVLFUN. And then you need our CLIA number. These are really the numbers that are the most important. that can get you booked with an agency with your commissions or an agency rate. That's really the stuff that you need the most of. Booking engines page, I already told you about, and the itinerary builder. So that's a lot, I know. Okay, tour conductor. Let's talk about group leader contracts, berths and rooms. TCs is an industry term. It means tour conductor rate. It's just another way of saying if you're a group leader and you bring a bunch of people, we're going to give you a little bit of a discount. Every place does it different. Every resort, every cruise, every time of year, totally different. So you choose the trip that you want to go on, and we will figure out what the TCs are. On average, a lot of times, it's usually for every 10 people, you will 10 rooms, you will get one TC, which is usually your room is free, but your taxes and fees and all that is not included in that free room. 10 people, and you really, it's different every time, but sometimes it's just half, and you do have to meet different quotas, but it's always different. So I never want to give everybody an actual number until they tell me what they want to do. But you are eligible to start earning TCs. You're eligible to start earning TCs for any existing group that we have in our agency. We have anything on travelfund.biz is a group booking, and you have the option to be a group leader and actually earn those TCs. So at some points, if you just feel like, I'm just too busy for this, you could just seriously say, go on travelfund.biz and I'll send you a booking link, and we have a referral area that has your name in it. It'll come to us and we'll get you the information to book your person, but you can use any of our groups for TC building. So that's really nice. You also, of course, have access to the Facebook page and training. And this is going to give you information on how to choose and request your own group, collaborate with other group leaders. Like, for instance, I know Diane and Stuart, you know each other. You might decide you want to work together and build a group and just split everything. That's possible. I find in travel, there's way more power in getting people together rather than trying to just be, you're standalone. I'm going to do everything by myself. But this is your business, so you do as you wish. I mentioned you could request email blasts or social promotion. I do post on social. We do have our Travel Fund social site. We have the Solo Travel Expert site. I'm friends with Cruising for Solos. They allow us to promote in their group. They have about 10,000 people there. In fact, I'll be on an interview on Sunday with Cruising Pete. Great guy. So they allow us to promote our groups there. So if you need those connections, I'm here for that. And then, of course, the social media training, that's included. We're going to have that in February. And if you're really serious about building a business and not just kind of having fun on the side, it's really helpful. It's also a transferable skill set. So let's get into CLIA. So I know, Leslie, I approved your CLIA request just yesterday, so that should be coming in. To get your CLIA card, this is all through CLIA. We're not even charging extra for the processing. You're just direct with CLIA. I think it's 120 or 130. Leslie, do you know if it was 100 and did they change the pricing? Hold on, I'm just unmuting you. Go ahead.
It's 119.
119. Okay, that's great. All right. So I'm going to show you the process, but I wanted to have these steps for you just so you could see them, because I know for me, I'm a visual learner myself. So I really try and put these productions together where you don't feel like I can't figure it out. There's 4 steps to making it, sorry, let me get there. To getting your CLIA card if you're new. So this is the live site, and I just had screenshots of what I did. But cruising.org is the CLIA website. They are the Cruise Line Industry Association. They've been the leaders forever and ever. If you want to book a cruise, you need a CLIA number. But CLIA numbers also allow us to book resorts and get commissions and sign up as an agency with all of the resorts as well. Okay, so obviously you would go to your CLIA.org and Travel Agent Center, join or renew. When you get to this page, you're scrolling down. It's an individual agent membership. So, excuse me, that's mine, actually. It's you're a travel agency membership. I have to change that. You're the travel agency membership. We are the agency membership. So we pay hundreds of dollars a year to be part of CLIA for you, and then you pay CLIA to be under us, if that makes any sense. So just for travel agencies, so you'd learn more, and then you're going to join or renew, and you would create a new account. When you create a new account, they'll send you an email to the email address you use. I really advise that you do everything with the same email for your personal ease. But you create a new account, and then at one point they're going to ask you for our CLIA number so that they know who you're registered under. And at that point, I will receive an email request to approve you being a part of our team. So that's the way that works. And I think the really cool thing about CLIA, when you finally get in there, let me show you a few things in CLIA that I think are helpful for new people. We're doing good. We're doing good. 45 minutes. Woo! It's not bad. So this is what it'll look like. You put your own picture in there, of course. And if you go up here, you'll see your name, my CLIA. So that's how you're going to get into my CLIA profile, my CLIA, my company profile, my orders. I'm just going to stick here with my CLIA and my CLIA profile. So when I click my CLIA, this is actually quite useful. Don't leave money on the table. This is pretty cool because this is basically the coupons I mentioned. There are some coupons. This is once a year. CLIA gives us a few extra bucks here and there for bonus commissions. So to redeem them, you usually have to actually send it in. It's a little laborious and old fashioned, but it's a coupon. If you're going to save 50 bucks, it's a $50 coupon. It's not so bad, right? So let's just say we went to Norwegian. They're giving us either 25 agent bonus. And of course they have all these stipulations. You do have to read them, or $50. Most of the time it's 25 or 50 bucks additional to whatever your commission would be. And then you just make sure you let me know about that so I can make sure that I'm I'm doing all the math correctly. But as you can see, I mean, there are a lot of different bonuses, a lot of different places that are working with extra bonus commissions. So that's once a year when you log on. And fortunate for you, CLIA is a calendar year type of establishment. So you pay $120 from January to December. Even if you sign up in July, you still pay $120. They don't prorate it. So you'll get your money's worth on that, which is great. They have cruise line webinars, Embark ID benefits and personal travel discounts. Remember I mentioned the Embark ID? I know that's a weird name, but I'll show you what that means. But these are extra affinity programs. This one I think is the coolest if you ever get really into anything, Constant Contact, Office Depot, even UPS. But they do have hotel partners, and these are special travel agent rates at these participating hotels, the Hilton, Hyatt, Wyndham, Omni, Marriott, and Best Western. And then they have some other, other things I really don't use, the ground transportation and such, but I think, the hotel ones are nice. So that's a nice area to know where you're going there. And if I go back to my CLIA, another thing I think is really interesting. It's all very interesting actually, but some of them are paid trainings. I don't recommend taking any paid trainings for CLIA at this point. If you're going to do anything, I would go to the actual live Cruise 360, which is March 29th in Fort Lauderdale. It's a couple $100, but they have these live trainings, and that is actually quite great for new agents. Remember I told you this is your Embark ID. This is the card that you're going to need if you get any travel agent specific discounts. They're going to ask you for this card. Now, just so you're aware, travel agents, when you're doing a travel agent fam trip or a travel agent discount and they want your Embark ID, this is the my Embark ID. This is our CLIA number. This is the big number that you can't forget. If you're doing any of that and you're thinking, oh, I can really resell it to a friend, you cannot. They're going to ask you to show it. For instance, at Club Med, they have great travel agent rates, by the way, Stu, amazing. And they're going to ask you to show your card there. Like you won't be able to let a friend be on your card. Like they don't allow that at all. You have to be there. Sometimes they will also allow you to do an extra additional room at the same rate for a family or friend. but more often than not, it's just you and whoever your guest is, and you have to be present or they won't honor it. So just so you don't try to do anything sneaky, because that's not going to work out for you. So one other thing, personal travel discounts. So there's the area for some of the fam trips. And I also put a few fam trip links in there for you guys to look at. There's several different sites, mostly for the fams. We have a Nest Facebook group and a couple of the travel agent groups that we get into. And I will post them when I see stuff that's interesting. But fams come up really whenever they don't sell out. They want us to push their product. And like I said, this is the year that they're giving out more fam discounts than ever before, but there are some travel agent discounts on this one here too. So I wanted to show you that with Clea, and you can print out that card. So you can do that today. Once I give you all that information that you're going to get, you could sign up today, you can pay today, and I can approve you today, and you'll have your Clea card in print. They will send a physical card to your house, but you can print it just like I showed you through that area there. So that's pretty great information. Again, this is our Clea number. It's wicked important to know that Clea number, our agency phone number. When you pay for 1 year for the card, the benefits go, the benefits on cruising.org are there. So that's cool. That hopefully that's pretty obvious. Fam trips, I mentioned I have a few here. These you don't have to pay for to see stuff. The spoiled agent, you do have to sign up with a login, but you don't have to buy the pro. But even just for the spoiled agent, just to give you an idea of some of the fam trips that are out right now. Mazatlan, $60 a person. LeBlanc, LeBlanc is like a 5-star hotel. We went there for our anniversary. It was phenomenal. Like, I mean, it's kind of crazy to live that way. It's usually $700-800 a night. So you can get that for like $300 or $400 a night, which is amazing. Nobu, 40% discount off the best available. These are all fam discounts, just to give you an example. And this is another site that I've used. Honestly, I don't use a lot of fam trips because I don't have time to travel as much. So you may find more, and you will find more if that's your real focus. Your sellers of travel, that's a must. That's not an option, and it's not our requirement. It's the state's. It's only $50. It's done through the agricultural, I don't know what you call it, the Florida agricultural business. I don't know how agriculture got into travel, but they found a way to charge us more. But any seller of travel that has a business location in Florida, that's the business you're working with, is ours, or is selling to any Floridians, has to have this. So it's only $50 for the whole year, but you do have to have that. And I have a link. I've linked it to this. This is actually a linkable real PDF. And you have to make a check or money order. So we're really advanced. A check or money order to this up here when it's circled in red. And you will need our information. You'll fill out, I just filled it out for you so you could see what it looked like. And of course, you'll have to sign it. But just to give you an example so that you know that this is exactly what it looks like. It's just a PDF. You'll print it out. It's a fillable PDF and then send it out. And then we need that number on file for you. So that as soon as possible, you want to get that going before you sell travel anyway, because that's important. The travel agent annual plan. I know this is one of the big reasons Stu was really excited about this. He was like, just give me the annual plan. Even at $500, he would have been, making money. But the travel agent professional program, as I tell people, it's only $138 a whole year. It's a really nice discount, pays for this training, and it's available to you. So as soon as you do that Clea card and you send me an email with the okay, I know both of you are traveling very soon. So Stuart and Diane, if you want me to get that done for you today, I've cleared time for that, so I can process that. I just need it. Everything when your clients do anything money related, you can take texts and such, but really try to get emails, especially if you haven't worked with them before, because sometimes there's miscommunications on card numbers and such, and it can be a little bit it can cause a little bit of a break in the friendship if you don't have everything in writing. So I always tell people, oh, I heard, if they call me on the phone, generally, if I haven't worked with them much before, I'll say, oh, could you just email me that information? Because I'll definitely do it for you, but please email it to me. So if you want that travel agent program, it's $138. I am actually licensed to sell insurance. Everybody, when you sell an insurance package, someone at the host agency has to be licensed. They do my background check. I have fingerprints. I'm like, my gosh, like I really need a lot of make sure I'm a good person for this insurance sales. We are licensed with Allianz, and you get commissions on insurance too. So if you sell insurance to your clients, it's a small commission for the most part, but it's it adds up, and you're helping your clients stay insured, which is ultimately extraordinarily important. Let me just see here. Did I miss anything? Oh, you can. Okay, I'll let me get back to you on that, Leslie. Thank you. She is so great, that Leslie. So this one here, just so you're aware, this is a little unique, and I want that, since I have a minute, I'd like to explain it to you, especially since Diane and Stuart, you both wanted the seller of the travel program insurance. This is a low trip amount, but what happens is with this program, it will pay you back up to $2,000 of your trip per year. However, your emergency transportation, which in my opinion is the real reason to get travel insurance, and because of COVID now, if you have an illness, this covers illnesses. COVID is an illness. So if you went on the trip and you couldn't go because of COVID, it will reimburse you up to $2,000. Now, that the $2,000 is only once a year. The medical keeps repeating. So the best part about this is what I tell people is, if in fact you couldn't go on a trip, you'd get your at least $2,000 back, and then you could purchase insurance for your future trips. There's very rare a time that I've ever had to use insurance for multiple trips, because you can insure trips in the future. So this is why I feel like this is a fantastic benefit. And no, it doesn't cover $10,000 in trips, but I don't generally spend $10,000 on my trips. And when you're going on agency prices, you probably aren't either. You probably won't spend more than $2,000 per trip. If you find yourself having to use the $2,000 to get that money back because you missed a trip due to COVID specifically, or some other illness, then you could get your $2,000, and then you could reinsure a future trip. So just nod if that makes sense a little bit. Yeah. Okay. I can go over it with your one-on-one as well, but the emergency transportation, the medical, that's really, to me, the reason for trip insurance. If you don't have trip insurance and you get hurt in, say, I don't know, the backwoods of Belize, they will not bring you back to the States unless you have a emergency transportation. If you do not have emergency transportation, I have seen them leave people there until their families can make arrangements. And you do not want to be in a Belize hospital in an emergency situation for a very long time. So I don't allow people to travel without travel insurance anymore during COVID. It's not the right thing as a travel advisor to do. But this particular benefit, I think, is a best price, and it hits all the goals. And if anything did happen, you could always reinsure for something else. The contracts. So we're going to be sending the contracts out to you. These are 3 really normal contracts. It's an IC agreement. A 1099 will need if you make over $600 in commissions. That's when you get your 1099. That's when you use your LLC. If you have an LLC, it's another layer of protection. I have LLCs for almost everything. And the reason I do is because in the very beginning of teaching, remember I was telling you I teach fitness. This woman she tripped over a weight, and I swear, I don't know what she had out for me. I was like 23 years old. I had nothing to give her, but she was definitely going to sue me. And thankfully she found out my parents didn't have anything either. So luckily she didn't. But after that, I was like, wow, I have to be protected. And I will say, when things go wrong with a guest, even if they're a friend, for some reason, people in this victim mentality world, it gets a little bit nerve-wracking. So yes, a travel fund is an LLC, but if you really want to be protected, you're an independent agent. So I would really advise running under an LLC, and we can talk about that more on a one-on-one if you want. You're under our errors and omissions, and I also like to mention with most travel companies, a couple of people that are coming on that are on our Sunday session are actually coming from different agencies. Most agencies are making people have their own LLC, or this particular guy, he's making them have their own LLC, which we are not requiring. We just recommend that. He makes them have their own errors and omissions, which that's kind of unusual because you should be under the host agency's errors and omissions. Now you are responsible for deductibles, just like if it's in a travel insurance and a home insurance. If something happens in your home, you're also responsible for the deductibles. We're not going to be able to pay out of pocket if you make a big error. But I can also tell you, in 20 years of travel, I've never actually seen anyone use the errors and omissions insurance. You just have to have it. Like we have to have it to be a business. We have to have our surety bonds as well. But I've never seen anyone use it because the deductibles are kind of high, $500 or $1,000. Generally, if you make a big error, you have to pay for the mistake. I have never made more than a $20 or $50 error. But for instance, if you do a name change, like if you put their name in wrong, that would be something that you might have to be responsible for. That's the most common one. Another one is just to be careful about what you put in print. Especially if there's anything travel fun on it, please put it through me first, because you want asterisks and you just want to make sure that there's no misleading information and that they know prices can change, because people are sticklers for everything now, right? So you just have to use this common sense of business sense of, hey, this is the price today and prices can change. That's important. So the errors and omissions, we take care of that for you. You're under ours. You'll have to return the contracts signed. Once signed and returned, the CLIA card, the travel agent insurance can be purchased. So you just let me know about that. The commission split is 50-50. That's not including check fees. Some once in a while, and we've tried to get, we've got almost everyone now automated on Pay Mode X, which is a automated service that they use with the agencies. But a few of them we don't have set up yet. Once in a while, they give you a $10 check fee, which is kind of crappy, but that does come out of the commissions that you're getting. And any deductibles I mentioned for errors and omissions. The non-disclosure, this is normal business practice of just, please, you're not allowed to go tell everybody our secrets. You're not allowed to share any business processes. All of this is for your information, but it's not to be shared how we do business, etc. That's just an important part of keeping your business safe. And then a restrictive covenant, and just in case you choose not to renew, which you never have to renew next year, you can't just take anybody you had beforehand. Like I know Leslie came with her own people, those are her people, but people that you gain during the tenure here, that's travel funds people. So you can't just go bring all your people that you got through us this year when we email blasted, we marketed for you, we hosted your agency, we insured you, and then you take your people and just go to a different travel agency. There's a year covenant on that. You have to wait. So that's important. And that's really a normal thing for travel. The Gmail required is really required because I need this commission tracking sheet. I have commission tracking sheets for all of you, and you're responsible for filling them out and letting me know exactly what you're anticipating. Now, sometimes commission structures change. Sometimes they go up, sometimes they go down. You're giving the best case scenario of what you think the commission is, and I'll double check it. Right at this point, we can pay you by check or by Zelle. And like I said, if you make over 600 in commissions per year, we'll shoot you out a W-9, a 1099, so that you are registered. We can't do anything about that. But anyway, a Gmail will help you so that you can use this commission sheet and we can both change it and see it. So that's why we want to make sure we have, and I put a travel fun with Diane at Gmail or travel fun Florida, or just something that like gives the guest a reminder so it doesn't go into spam and junk and they know. Because I would say with the travel, being a travel agent, one of the biggest challenges I find is just communicating the information to people and them saying, oh, I didn't get that information. Can you resend it? So if you at least have a travel email, you don't have to, but it helps. And then having a Gmail, this way we can use our Google Sheets. Okay, the private Facebook group, you guys are all in there, which is great. And of course, I'm going to post. I didn't want to post too much until we got all this registration stuff done, and we have another big training on Sunday. but the group leader training has guides, and I want you guys to collaborate, and that's where we're going to do our basic social media training. I wanted to show you, see if I screenshot it. Yeah, the guides. So this is on a desktop. There's the word guides. On mobile, I know a lot of you are using mobile all the time. There's guides here too. And we have a group leader request form. There is a $29 DIY fee, but that's waived for any travel agents. That's only for our group leaders. So if a group leader wanted to put a group together, they pay $29 as a fee because I have to put the group together for them, and it's very time intensive. However, if you're doing your own group, that's fine. You can do your own group. You're a travel agent. You paid for the training, so we're waiving that fee. But this is the group leader request form. Something that is important that we'll go over on our one-on-ones is that you have to have PCI compliant. You shouldn't be, and I really shouldn't tell you what to do or not to do. I'll tell you for best practices. You shouldn't be sending credit cards through email. You shouldn't be texting credit card information. They are hackable, for one. Number two, you really can get in trouble, not by me necessarily, but by other people that do investigate it. Have I ever seen anyone get in trouble? No, I have seen companies get in trouble. I haven't seen any independent agents get in trouble by it, but I will say I have hypothetically, people might have sent me their credit card pictures before. I didn't ask for them. They just send them because they trust me. But there are secure forms. And one of the best things I think about being with our company is we have these secure forms for you. They're already set up and they are HIPAA compliant, PCI compliant. There's other compliance. I don't even know the names. It's very secure. This is a typical digital intakes form. And if you wanted to put a group together, and I have this in our Facebook group that I just showed you. So it is pretty secure. We have to do all these little, I'm not a robot, but this form holds the information and it's in a whole different area so that it can't be hacked. And we have this form for you on our site too, which I'll get to next for bookings and referrals. But this is really the way I do business in general. I try to send people these forms. If they're at all open to it, I'm like, please, can you just write it down? Because that way they're putting in their information. They're spelling their information. I don't have to worry about misspelling things. I don't have to worry about transcribing a credit card incorrectly. I don't have to worry about, I spelt it with a C and they spelt it with a K. Things like this kind of become a big deal when you're putting in actual information. But this again is the group leader request form. This is for groups, and this is something that is really just for if you would like to do as well. If you want to be a group leader, you say, okay, I want to bring a group to Club Med, and then give us the information. Tell us about how many people you're expecting. Give us a little bit of background on early seating, late seating, the promo code, referral code. You can do whatever you want, but I would say keep it simple and just use your name because people like to get really fancy and be like traveling joy and traveling all the time. And it's just, people forget what your promo code is, but they remember your name and you just want them to be tracked to you. So your promo code would be your name. The admin fees are, like I said, these are waived for our travel agents because you guys took the training. Our group leaders only pay $199, well, $99 right now till the end of the day. So they're not as invested. So they're not doing their own group. So we do take a minimal fee from them because sometimes they'll make us often they'll make us put a group together and then they'll just disappear. And so we did all that work for nothing, right? So we had to put something on there. Okay, so again, legal name as it appears on documents, date of birth. This is all information you'll need to book someone. Past guest number if applicable. You can even use this as a tool before, if you wanted to know, I have to book someone, what do I need to know? These are the things you're going to need to know. Their email, their phone number. Make sure that they know that their passport may be required. Just a tidbit. US citizens going for closed circuit cruising. And what that means is same port it begins in, the same port it ends in the US. For example, Miami to Miami round trip, not Miami to Vancouver, Canada. That's not a closed circuit trip. So if it's in the US, US citizens with that are residents, US residents and citizens are able to go on a birth certificate with a government ID on cruises. They still are not requiring passports with exception of Virgin Voyages. I don't know why exactly. I have my own theories that was because they were supposed to be going to Cuba all the time, but then that got pulled and they just never changed their things back. But ultimately, a little confusing because passport books are usually not required for closed circuit cruising for US citizens. However, it is for Virgin Voyages. So that's an important little distinction. And of course, you need your passport to leave the country otherwise. But it's a little, little rules. Now, the reason this is also so secure and good is it has your IP address, it has the time, date, and then people have to actually sign it. So that way, if they go, oh no, I didn't know that, you have the signature and you can actually dispute it. It's pretty important. It always will surprise you if this comes up, but it's nice to have. So we have this for you and we pay for all this and this is yours. So use it because you'll be safer. And I want this to go well for you. So the guides in the Facebook group, as I mentioned, that's the group leader request form. I just showed you that, how to make a Facebook group. If you're going to do anything with groups or even with your friends, I really highly suggest putting a Facebook page together for you and what you're doing for travel. There's several reasons. I'll go over it more in social media training, but that's how to make a Facebook group if you don't already know. And then of course, schedule your one-on-one call, which I know we already have scheduled. So that's great. The Group Leader Summit, we are doing that this year. I'd like to try and believe it will be earlier rather than later, but I'm just going to wait till we're done with the rest of the training and I talk to the rest of the people and then I'll get your, overview and we'll see what's going to be the best thing. But this is the travel agent checklist that we started with. Schedule a one-on-one with me. You've done that. Sign the 3 contracts. We're going to email them back to you after this call. So you can look those over. If you have any questions, of course, let me know. Choose 1 to 3 favorite vendors to focus on. Log in thenest.com, familiarize yourself. You'll have your logins. I'm sending you those. I am good. This is 209. Okay, call suppliers directly using the agency phone number and CLIA number, or you could use the supplier's back office. You just have to request registration. There's hundreds and hundreds of registration options. I know when Leslie came on, we registered her for everything. With our new agents, we just tell them, give us 3 that you really want to work on so that we can help you focus on those. Otherwise, you're going to spin your wheels. You're going to get a little overwhelmed and you're just not going to be as productive. So let me help you. I've already gone through this with a lot of people. Send in your seller of travel. I showed you how to do that. Register with CLIA, pay to get your Embark ID card, and then create a Gmail travel related email address. I'm going to have office hours, as I mentioned, once a week. Fridays, it's actually going to be 1 to 2, not 12 to 1, but or of course you can schedule appointments. I have a Bitly calendar, a tidy calendar, and it will show you my openings. So if you're desperate for me, I'm really not able to get on the fly all the time. And just, I know people are all busy. I don't know if people are in social media as much as I am. I can honestly tell you without exaggeration, I get 20 to 50 messages on average a day. So occasionally, yeah, it's not good, right? Hold on, let me unmute you, Diane. Go ahead. Unmute yourself. It says ask to unmute. So you're going to just try and figure out that unmute button. There's usually bottom. Yeah, there you go, girl. Go ahead.
Hang on 2 seconds. I have somebody at the gate.
Please.
Let
Yeah,
them in
go
the
ahead.
gate.
That's fine. So
Thanks.
as I was just saying, I get overwhelmed with messages and it does happen more often than not. If I don't get back to you and there's like an urgent matter, it's not because I'm ignoring you. Either it's because I'm holding on to that because I want to wait till I can actually focus on you and actually give you an answer and not just give you a one-word answer and then leave and you be like, what the hell, Shelby? Like you just started a conversation and then you left. So I'm either holding on to the message or it could have like gone below the line when there's so many messages influxing. Do not be afraid of re-messaging me that. Like you are my VIPs. So if you need an answer and I'm not getting back to you, pop it in a few times. And believe me, as soon as I can, I will. But you're not really bothering me. You're my people. You're my priority. It's just a lot of people are vying for my attention. So if it's important, just email me again. Never think I'm ignoring you because that's not the case. I'm either holding on to it because I want to make sure I have like at least 15 minutes to go back and forth with you, or I have lost it and it's gone to the bottom and it looks red. So, oh, the dogs are here. So the next live trainings we're going to have are the social media marketing for travel agents. Rosemary is going to give us one in leads. And here, I'll mute her so that. Woof, woof. All right. I was just saying, remember that you can meet or beat almost any price with travel perks. The next live training is in the social media marketing for travel agents. Rosemary is going to do one for Nest. Riviera River Cruises, which the solo cruising and Stuart's very familiar with. They're going to be doing a live training that you can attend, and Virgin Voyages. So these are kind of like my favorite BDMs are really excited about all of you guys coming on board. So they've agreed to do some stuff for you. The last thing I want to show you before I kind of turn it over real quick is our site. So you have travelfund.biz. Oh, that's our banner there. This book now button is really the important one for you. So as I mentioned, you can do any of our trips you can build on and you'll get credit for them. This is how. Because this is a secure form, you have to right click and say copy the link address. If you click this, you could have them do this on their own, but if you're just sending them this link so that you get the referral, you need to just copy that link because it's such a secure form. You can't just copy and paste this. It's not going to work. You have to, excuse me, you have to actually go to the website, and I'm just going to do it one more time because this kind of threw me for a loop the first couple times as well. So I want to make sure you get it because this is really kind of the easiest way to make a few bucks, and we've already set up the groups and it's fun too. So I right click on book now and I'm copying the link address. That link I can send a guest through Facebook Messenger. I can send a guest through email and they will get it correctly. Or they can click the book now link and they can do it on their own. But if you're trying to send them the link, because some people just can't get it, they just don't have the technology in them. If you're trying to send them the link, you have to do it the way I just showed you too. So, okay, so here, this is, I'm not a robot. Click here to continue. The referral section is the first one we put in, and that's for your name. So any of these things that we have on our site, we have Virgin Voyages, we have Temptations, we have Virgin Voyage. Sorry, I said Virgin Voyages. What's what I'm missing? Riviera, right? And we'll have more to come. The referral section is the most important part. So you just tell them, put my name in the referral section, please. That's the only thing they really need to do, and then just follow the directions. We have all of these all set up, but they can also just tell you what trip they wanted to go on if it wasn't one of ours. There's some basic information, how you're traveling, and then some basic information about what might be included. And then you want their authorization to charge their card for the deposit or the full payment. And of course, again, this is all of their important information that you prefer them to put this in, because then if they misspell it, it's on them more than you. And then of course, the payment information is secure. We do make them actually write these things because we've had issues. I remember a couple years back, river cruises are I've never seen a river cruise not have a non-refundable deposit. But a couple years back, we did a whole bunch of river cruises and they were amazing. And we put a lot of money on the line to charter them. And we even had a radio button that said, I know my deposit is a $500 deposit, non-refundable. And even so, you have people debating, saying that was legalese, because they want, they always want to get out of it. But this is legit, and this actually stands up against the credit card companies. So because it's that click sign and it's got your IP address and everything. So I know you can take your information on a napkin. I know a lot of travel agents just do it on paper, and I'm not going to tell you how to run your business. I'm just going to tell you that for the safest ways, this is best for you if you can. And then, of course, on our one-on-ones, we can go over more specifics on how to enter and what to use. So I'm going to try to unmute everybody, and we're at exactly 2:16. Let's do like 5 minutes of any really important questions that you think would help the group or anything at all. And thank you so much for your attention. You guys were so great. What a great group. So thank you for being here. Tell me, is there anything right this second that you'd like to know, or can we do it on our one-on-one so that we don't take too much time?
Shelby?
Yes.
I just wanted to say I just got an email from Royal Caribbean. They just are canceling cruises on Vision of the Sea, Jewel of the Sea, Symphony of the Sea, and Serenade of the Sea due to COVID. So
you just got that while we were on?
Yes, so it might be happening again. It seems that some of them are canceled through March and some through April, some only through February, and Symphony just a few sailings in January. But just be ready.
Yeah, it's a fluid situation, that's for sure. And that's why I like to book direct instead of through TripXpress right now, especially because you're more control of the booking if there is any cancellations. What most of them, I think all of you know this because you're all really well traveled. Mostly right now, what's happening if they do cancel something is they'll give everybody a future credit and a little bonus. So they're not really refunding as much as they used to. I know we refunded everybody that was on the river cruise a couple years back that was paid in full, but they're not really refunding people. And I think people expect that kind of now. They know they're going to get a future cruise credit or they're using future cruises, but we'll see what happens. I talked to Riviera just yesterday and they said they are full steam ahead, that nothing looks bad about March and April. So that's good. I know that right now, CLIA is standing up for the first time in 2 years and really getting a little, I would say, they're kind of finding their voice. They were kind of like letting them roll over, the CDC roll over them. Now they're kind of talking back. So I think we're going to see a lot of changes in the next couple of weeks, but I don't know. We'll see. I thank you for that information, but at this point, we still got to move forward, I think. And I think the sentiment, I just put out a big email, a Facebook email, and I thought it was really interesting. For the first time in 2 years, I have never heard so many people saying, we need to move past this. We're vaccinated. We might come in contact with it. It's time to move forward. So I feel like there might be a little change, but thank you for that information. Anything, I know I have in 10 minutes, I have one-on-one with Stuart, so I don't want to take too much time. But Diane, what do you think? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling scared?
I'm just overwhelmed with info, but
I know. It really is a lot. It really is. I know. It is a lot, but we're here to guide you and just start with those little pieces. And if you just start with those, go back to the basics. You can book by phone, you can book the suppliers, or you can book on TripXpress and then play with the itinerary stuff. And then just let us know what your favorite 3 are. And we have our one-on-one on Monday, correct?
Yes. So the insurance for the Curacao trip is my priority 1.
Right. So just I know.
No.
We're going to do it today.
Okay.
We're doing it today. I'm sending you all the information as soon as I get off the phone with you guys. In between our things, I'm going to email everybody their info. We'll get your insurance secured today for your trips. Just send me the dates again, just so I have it, and that you want us to charge your card. I don't think I have your. I don't know if I have your card on file, so I might have to call you on that. But I'll let you know by the end of the day. We'll get it all sorted today, if that sounds good.
Okay.
And Stuart, I know I'm with you. Leslie, I just want to say thank you. I adore you. I appreciate you. Leslie is probably one of the most seasoned agents that I have. She's been how long have you been booking travel?
6 years.
6 years. That's more than me actually, because I've done a lot of shit, but I haven't booked them.
Book it. Yeah.
I just started booking them a couple of years ago.
Well,
In fact,
maybe
after
I don't
500
even know.
Christmas,
Maybe it's even
I was like,
more
I've never
at this
booked
point.
my own trip. Actually, I
It
have
may
no
actually
idea.
be 8 years, but
So
I just
I
don't
can
think I
learn it.
count the whole COVID years because I did nothing.
Right. But I really do feel like we're on an upswing. I know that there's a little right now, but I feel like there's going to be a little fight. That's the word on the street is there's going to be a little back room.
Oh yeah, Clea looked pretty pissed off, and they finally said something, which is good. And but it's funny because all these other venues like sporting arenas and concerts and all, they don't have to report their numbers. No one's saying they don't get it there. They just don't have to report it. So of course, you're going to keep hearing about cruise ships because they have to report it every day. It's ridiculous. I mean, I've just been on 4 cruises in the last 2 months, not even 2 months. And I can tell you, they're doing what they need to do.
Right.
They're being careful.
Yeah.
And you can't stop it. You're never going to stop it. You got to learn to live with it, like the flu, like norovirus. We've all, gone through it. I mean, every time I have a really bad cold right now and I've been coughing for 3 weeks, people keep looking at me like something's wrong with me. I'm like, no, I've taken like more COVID tests than any of you people. Trust me, that's not what it is. It's just a cold. But yeah, I mean, it's just nuts how they're doing so much and other venues do nothing. I mean, especially here in Florida, let's face it, we're not masked. We don't do anything like that.
I know. And Diane spends a lot of time in Mexico, and I know it's the same over there. They're living their life, but it's really frustrating for me to watch too, because it's just hypocritical. And that's something I do have an issue with. It's hypocritical.
It's like they're targeting the industry, and it's just not fair.
Yeah, I agree. And unfortunately though, their messaging is pretty damn good because it's taken a lot to overcome. I finally come out and took a stance.
You wouldn't know that if you were on the Mardi Gras for New Year's like I was. Because the biggest ship in the world, and there had to be over 5,000-6,000 people on that ship, all up on deck for New Year's. Nobody was masked.
I saw those pictures.
It was pretty incredible.
Yeah, well, but it's like, it's crazy that, some industries are just, nobody's looking at them. Oh, they're fine. It's fine. And then the cruise ships, which are doing more than their share of protection. I mean, I'm like, where else can you go where you're vaccinated, you're tested beforehand, the cleaning protocols are insanity, like up the wazoo.
And you're masked almost all the time.
Yeah, now you weren't before, but.
Well, Virgin didn't make us mask, but every other line has made us mask. Royal had this weird vaccinated versus unvaccinated events. Right. And if you were unvaccinated, you had to sit in the balcony, and or you couldn't attend that particular event. And they gave you like wristbands so they would know. But most of the time you had a mask on. Carnival, we were masked the entire time on both cruises.
Really?
Yeah, I was on the Panorama.
And Stuart just got off Virgin Voyages. He said that, Stuart, tell us about the masking on Virgin, this last cruise that you were just on.
If you were inside, you needed a mask. If you were outside, you didn't.
Okay, so I went on November 13th and we didn't need masks.
Right,
so
I went on.
Obviously they're, reenacting this stuff and they're doing what they can do.
Yeah.
We do have to learn to live with it. It's never going to go away.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's the main
vaccinated.
Point. Yeah, I mean, that's the main point though, is I feel like there's half the population thinks this is going to disappear. And I'm like, I don't understand that mentality. Like it's not going to happen. We're not going to be able to eradicate this. And I mean, if you know the most elementary information about viruses.
Well, I think they also don't get that you can get it again. It's
right.
It's not a one-shot deal and you're done.
Yeah.
I had it already. No big deal. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't want to get into Stuart's time. Thank you so much, Leslie. Diane, I promise we'll have everything sorted out by the end of the day. Give me an hour with Stuart and then I'll get right back to you and we'll finish everything up. And thank you so much and welcome.
Bye and good luck, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thank you.